Welcome, race fans, to the Domino's TYJ Racing Dented Fender Series live on All4 Broadcasting. We are here at Auto Club Speedway, and yes, fans, you are probably scratching your head. What in the world are we doing racing Camping World Series trucks here at Auto Club in California? Because NASCAR never does that. Well, we're bringing you a special event, no points event. All drivers in the Domino's TYJ Racing Series who have paid their dues to race on asphalt are welcome to race tonight. We have got a huge group of drivers here. They're all trying to get their first win, second win. They're trying to be the best, and this is a wide open track. And by the way, we got a lot of things going on, fans. We got the free pizza giveaway, and we have another special surprise for you fans. We have our very, very special, very talented driver in booth broadcaster tonight, famous Smoking Joe Johnson. How you doing tonight, Joe?
Well, Robert, it's always good to be up here in the booth with you. I think I smell some Domino's back there in the back. I can smell it coming through. It's a beautiful day here in Fontana, California, and I'm excited to see these trucks get after it.
Hey, I tell you what, Joe, I really, really appreciate you helping us out. I'm going to do a quick early on Domino's driver profile for a driver who's not even in the field here tonight. He could be in here probably running 5th, 4th, 9th, qualifying. He's probably going to stay out of trouble, get a top 5 finish. He could even win the race tonight, but Joe Johnson, Smoking Joe Johnson, has decided to join me in the broadcast booth here and let Curtis Young have a chance to run here in this 9-points race. Joe Johnson always runs the number 83. He is from, what is it, Joe, South? Toulouse?
We're from South Columbia. We're from Columbia, South Carolina, Robert.
There you go. And your team name or your logo, your main sponsor is iWraps. You've been in iRacing 4 years. Your team is Johnson Lawler Motorsports. Give us some more quick details on you, your team, and your iRacing career real quick, and we'll get to the guys in qualifying.
Well, you know, Robert, we love iRacing. It's the closest thing you can get with actually having to bankrupt yourself to get into racing, so it's always a good time. Johnson Lawler Motorsports, we started this year after we joined Domino's TYJ, and you're too kind. I'm not real sure I could be keeping up with these guys, so I'm really excited to be up here in the booth tonight with you calling this race.
Well, I can tell you one thing, Joe. It is a privilege to have you. You helped us out a couple of weeks ago, maybe even last week, and you did an excellent job. A lot of guys, a lot of fans said, who is that guy in the booth with you and Ray Richer? He did an impressive job. Thankfully, you're here again tonight, and we're looking like we're on the 3-minute mark of qualifying. Hopefully, we have one of our other broadcasters, a famous guy, famous voice in iRacing. He's been here for a couple of years in iRacing. He's very famous. He's also, don't be surprised, one of the best drivers in Domino's TYJ Racing, Gabriel Wood. How you doing tonight, Gabe? What do you expect for tonight?
Doing awesome. This Windview Chevy Silverado, I think I just put this thing on the pole.
I tell you what, you had the fastest time in practice, and I don't know what you're doing, Gabe, because you got a whole handful of drivers going to be chomping on your back door, your tailgate, trying to get around you. Hopefully they can do it cleanly and respectfully. But how did you get on the pole for practice, and how are you on the pole here for the race? Congratulations.
I don't know. I just like California, and I guess the truck kind of suits me. I don't know. I actually really got lucky. First lap, I was able to excuse me just a second.
Fans, it looks like Gabriel Wood actually picked up a 10th from practice to qualifying, so we know that truck that he's got is super fast tonight. Gabriel, can you kind of tell us the track condition and some of the things you're looking for out there?
Well, I was telling Ray this in practice. He was asking me how to run a fast lap here, and I used an expression, and you can feel the truck get happy on the entry to 1. You know, that's where you really make up the most of your time, because all you have to do is really crack out of the throttle in 3 and 4. But in turn 1, you can feel the car, and the car will tell you when it starts to turn, and that's how I was able to run that lap. I actually surprised myself picking up that much time from practice, but yeah, that's how you can kind of feel the car. If you jump back into gas, you know, you're going to ride it straight up into the wall, and you know, and the car will tell you, and you know, the car told me, and I was able to put this thing on the pole. So I'm happy this Windview Games Double H Ranch Ohio Ag Equipment 00. It's coming. It's staying at the front, I hope.
Well, Gabriel, we wish you luck tonight. We do appreciate you taking time to talk to us in the booth. Now, go get strapped in, man. It's time to go green.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you there, Joe. If you will go through the top 10, top 20 starting order here, we'll get ready for the start of the race.
Good evening. Starting first, no surprise here, Gabriel Wood's going to be on the pole. To his outside, we'll have David Washington in second. Jeff T. Martin and William Davis will make up row 2. Tanner Tallarico and Curtis Young will make up row 3. James Ross and Jack Watts will make up row 4. Giovanni Bramante and Gerald Campbell will make up row 5. Blake Griffith and our buddy Judd Danielson back there gonna make up row 6. Dylan C. Jones and William Roberts will make up row 7. Ronald Klein and Gary Sexton will make up row 8. Eric Sanford and Shane Parrish will make up row 9. John Arsnault and Gary Reston will round out our top 20. You know what, Robert? Let's do something special tonight. Let's see if we can't get our in-race reporter Ray Richer up here on the booth.
Yes, sir. Your wish is my command, and we are as close as you can get to real NASCAR racing, guys. Actually, I think we are much better. We are much more involved, much more excited. We got a much better camera guy with All-Pro Broadcasting, Michael D'Amico. And yes, we do have Ray Richer here. We got an onboard camera in his truck. And Joe, give him a quick interview about what he is expecting in this race.
Ray Rich, we appreciate you joining us in the booth as you're getting those tires warm in that Pro Auto Service Chevy. Tell us about tonight, the track, some of the conditions that may or may not change, something you might be expecting out there tonight.
Best way I could describe it, fellas, would be ice in Santa Barbara. It's slick, it's hot, it's fast. Regardless, the tires will fall off really quick. The track is very bumpy. Any little bump will upset the truck. And I've noticed that in practice and qualifying, and you try your best to do, kind of keep it straight, but after a while, it just wants to go right towards that wall. In practice, I hit the wall about 3 times, and, my guys repaired the truck nicely, and longevity. Just got to take your time and be patient here.
Well, hey, Ray, we sure do appreciate you taking a moment. Now we're ready to see you get after it, man, so we appreciate you. We'll talk to you the next caution.
Thanks, fellas.
The lights are off atop the pace car. We're made for it to make that hard left turn down pit road. He dives down. Gabriel Wood's going to bring him to green.
I tell you what, this is going to be very exciting. We do have Gabriel Wood. I'm going to let you take this first lap. Joe, thank you so much for being here.
Robert, the green is out, and these drivers are California dreaming, no pun intended. Looks like Gabriel Wood's going to go down first into turn 1, and he's going to have the lead as they work through the middle.
I tell you what, these guys are all over trying to get second position. It definitely looks like David Washington. He's always racing in that bright yellow. If it's not a special paint scheme, he's racing in that bright yellow. Tonight, he's in the M&M Dollar General Toyota 98. He's got a great big run on the inside of Gabriel Wood. Looks like he's going to take the lead coming out of turn 4 to the start-finish line. But I tell you what, we got 99 more laps, and I'm sure Gabriel is going to take care of his equipment.
That's exactly right, Robert. We have got a long race and a lot of time, and these drivers are all going to get into a rhythm, and they're going to try to get settled in because this track, it can be quite tricky. It kind of lulls you to sleep, and all of a sudden you'll find yourself in the outside wall. Right now, it looks like Gabriel Wood and David Washington are beginning to kind of move away from the field. Jeff Martin's going to bring him up into third.
Yes, sir. It looks like the first side-by-side battle we got back here is between Dylan C. Jones and Jack Watts. If I'm looking at everything correctly here, it looks like Jack Watts in that Southeast Motorsports number 77 is moving to the outside. He's almost getting some contact there by the 85 of Judd Danielson. Looks like they stay clean as they're screaming down the front stretch here. That was some serious close racing, and we're definitely able to see some close racing all 98 more laps of this race.
Fans, my co-host here, Robert, he has got plenty of reason to be excited. These Domino's TYJ drivers love to put on a show. They love to hang it out. They're working 3 wide right now through turn 2, down the back straightaway 2 wide, beating and banging, but up front is still that 98 of Gabriel Wood, that Dollar General Chevy. He shows the way here at Fontana.
Thank you, Joe. And real quick, fans, in case we forgot to mention, you are watching the Servpro 200. The Servpro 200. Servpro has the fastest response time to any disaster. They are ready no matter what happens as far as a disaster in your home. You have a hurricane, you have a tornado, you have something as simple as you might think as a hot water heater go loose. We've had them in my neighborhood here, and you definitely want to call 1-800-SERVPRO. They are the fastest response to any company to your disaster. And I can tell you one thing, fans. You want to make sure you get a hot water heater leaking fixed as quick as you can. Servpro, our local franchise here, is Shane Parrish out of Grapevine, Texas. But fans, you can find over 1,800 different franchises across America. So anywhere you live, you can find a Servpro. They will be the fastest response time to any disaster you have. One other thing real quick, Joe, if we're staying green, want to remind the fans of our free pizza giveaway. Most of you fans are here watching tonight because you love the action here at Domino's 2 Racing. Fans just want to get a free pizza. Joe, give the fans how they can get the free pizza.
All you got to do, you got to get in your picks by lap 50, accurately predict tonight's winner. You can do that by texting 919-883-7497, or if you're watching us, you can also make your picks there. The first person that accurately picks the driver that wins will receive one free Domino's large 3-topping carry-out pizza, good for anywhere in the United States. Fans, you can't beat that. You're not going to find out anywhere else. Make sure you get those picks in. Again, that number is 919-883-7497.
Thank you, Joe. And if you're watching on your live device, you can also chat that information that you want to pick for the winner before halfway, which will be lap 50. I tell you what, Joe, we got an incredible battle for the lead here. It looks like Dave Washington had the lead from Gabriel Wood. Gabriel Wood got it back. David Washington got it back, and they're side by side coming to the start finish line as we complete lap 7.
Well, Robert, you know, you were talking about this is a Servpro 200. They're ready for any type of disaster. These guys better keep it in line, and that's exactly what we're going to have up front. They're 2 by 2 through the top 4 right now, beating and banging on each other, but up front, it's still going to be that 98 as he begins to pull away just a little bit away again. David Washington still watching that mirror. All the chaos is happening behind him.
I tell you what, Gabriel Wood put on a great show in practice and qualifying, and I tell you what, I think Gabriel Wood right now is the fan favorite pick to pull up the upset. Excuse me. David Washington, we all know, is our top driver in the Top Shelf Series, Domino's 2 Racing. He steps down in these 9-point special event truck races, and he has won a couple of them. But I tell you what, he's got some issues, and he's got a big mirror full of Gabriel Wood, not to mention Jeff T. Martin, that number 76. Jeff T. Martin is all over the back bumper of Gabriel Wood. Jeff T. Martin is racing that A-Top Gamers number 76. Looks like we also have Curtis Young in that Chevy Silverado number 94. He's made his way up to the front.
I tell you what, that 94, I've been watching him lap after lap, and he's closing in on these leaders. We know Curtis Young can drive the wheels off a car, so don't be surprised when he gets around these front two and finds the lead up there in that Silverado.
Thank you, Joe. We got some other drivers a little bit further back. It looks like Tanner Talarico. He is in that drill spill number 22 Chevy Silverado tonight. He has moved his way all the way up to 4th position. Looks like he started in 5th. He's gained 1 position right now. And all over his back bumper, we do have the Jeff T. Martin 76, who might have put a little bit more wear on his front tires early on in this run. But these drivers are single file right now. Looks like back in 6th, we have William Davis. He is in that Georgia-sponsored Chevrolet Silverado number 20. He is moving his way up to 6th. These guys are trying to work every single inch of this track, the low line, coming across the start finish to the high line up front. We got Blake Griffith here in the number 2 HSM Chevrolet Silverado JTM Motorsports. He has moved his way up to 7th position from 11th. So we got a lot of big movers up front. And I tell you what, this is exciting so far, Joe.
Right, you are there, Robert. The battle that I'm watching is still up front. It's going to be between David Washington, Gabriel Wood, and Curtis Young. They're going to be working back through 3. David Washington pulls down low. They're single file as they work off 4. Curtis Young starting to work that outside just a little bit, and he's beginning to make up some ground. Here comes that 94 of Curtis Young again.
Yeah, I tell you what, these guys are making any kind of move they can on the front stretch through turn 1 and 2 as we see them now, as their nose to tail going down the back stretch. I tell you what, Joe, we're going to look a little bit further back in the field. Looks like the first 6, 7 trucks are single file. We have another group of about 4 or 5 trucks single file. And since we are under green right now, we're going to give a real quick shout out to these drivers. Looks like we have the Gerald Campbell, number 6 truck. He's in the Veterans of Foreign Wars, No Scars, No Story Chevrolet Silverado up in position 8th. He's getting all kind of heat right now from Eric Stanford in that number 24 YesBilliards.com Toyota Tundra as they cross the start-finish line. Behind them, we also got Dylan C. Jones. He's in that Quaker State Chevy Silverado number 30. He's up to 10th. Do not rule him out at the end of the race. We also have Jack Watts in the number 77 Southeast Motorsports. He's up to 11th. And right behind him, do not ever rule out William Roberts Jr. He's in that number 12 truck in position 12. We've also got Ronald Klein. He is in that number 19 KMA Racing Chevrolet Silverado. Beautiful paint job on that truck. He's up to 13th. We got in 14th Gary Sexton. He's in that Cross Continent Racing Hexcam.net. A beautiful paint job Chevrolet Silverado. Right on his bumper, we've also got Mark Jackson. He's definitely got a win in our series. He's in that number 3. He's up to 15th. He's in that over-the-top paint and design Chevrolet Silverado. I'm going to get a quick front view of that truck because it definitely is one you want to see. It is a beautiful red, white, and blue over-the-top paints and designs Chevrolet Silverado. Joe, that's in 15th, 16th. We got Judd Danielson in that number 85. In 16th, 17th, we got J.P. Arsenault in that Team ESC Chevrolet Silverado. Behind him, we've got Gio Bramante. He's one of our newest, fastest, youngest, real on-track racers. He's in 18th position. I am sure he'll make his way to the front because he is racing real race cars on real racetracks all over the Southeast a couple of times a month. It's good to see him here tonight. Joe, what are you seeing up front?
Robert, I'm not watching up front right now. The position I'm watching is back here between 10th and 12th. I tell you what, these guys, if you throw them over a blanket or if anybody sneezes, we're going to have a lot of problems real fast, real quick. William Roberts Jr. has been going lap after lap, side by side with these guys. It's like a hornet's nest back here, Robert, between the 12, the 6, and the 30. These guys are racing their butts off, and we're only lap 14. This is why we love Domino's TYJ Racing.
I tell you what, you're absolutely right. These guys are going to the apron here. It looks like Dylan C. Jones in that bright yellow Quaker State number 30 truck is trying to get a draft behind the number 2 of Blake Williams, I think, if I'm correct. Blake Griffith, excuse me. Oh, actually, I was wrong there. He's trying to get a draft on William Roberts Jr. And these drivers are trying to get every ounce of traction they can on this track, every advantage by drafting. And I tell you what, up front, they're just trying to catch the leaders, and the leaders are kind of checking out. We got Gabriel Wood side by side right now with Curtis Young, and they are both trying to get some kind of way to get around our number 1 leader right now, David Washington, at number 98.
David Washington's still making that high line work just a little bit. Curtis Young, though, still in the 94 truck. He's still working that outside corner. Robert, the farther we go into this race, I'm expecting that outside line to start to come to life just a little bit. And when they do, you better watch out. Curtis Young's been out there already. It's going to get rubbered up. It's going to get some grip, and he's going to get right around these 2 trucks up front. As right now, they're still nose to tail. That Dollar General still shows the way here in Fontana.
Yeah, I tell you what, one thing is the Dollar General number 98 of Dave Washington, he is not checking out. These drivers now behind him. We got Gabriel Wood, that 00 win.
If I'm his crew chief, I'm saying, hey, listen, don't look in your rearview mirror because you're exactly right. They are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And this may have something to do with this new iRacing tire model that just came down in this new patch they released. I've heard some talk that the tires wear out a lot quicker. They're good for 10 to 12 laps, and they start falling off a lot. So it's going to be interesting to keep track of this race just to see how it affects these guys and their driving style and whether or not they can actually leave the rest of the field. As of right now, it looks like everybody's going to stay right there together, nose to tail.
I tell you what, that's a really, really good point. Smoking Joe Johnson, these tires on these trucks as of this week are completely different than all these drivers have experienced, even in practice sessions we had earlier this week. So these guys are having to deal with a couple of unknown curveballs thrown at them. So the very, very fast drivers, the first 18 laps, their tires could be wearing out. And that's exactly what I'm seeing right now. We have the number 22 of Tanner Talrico. He is in that drill spill Chevy Silverado. He's making up some serious time on the top 3 trucks. There are still single file, but it will not surprise me at all to see some of these drivers a little bit further back. They took a little bit better care of their tires in the first 10, 15 laps of this run. making their move to the front, and the front runners falling back, because these tires are definitely going to wear out here at the Auto Club Speedway.
Well, right you are there, Robert. Tanner Tallarico definitely seems to be making up some time back there in that 22 Chevy Silverado. You know, we got to see him last week at Pocono as well, and we know that he can drive the wheels off of a race car. Right now, he's starting to close in just a little bit on my pick, Curtis Young in the 94. It'll be interesting to see when he comes back to the stripe whether or not he's made up any more time. But from where I'm sitting up in the booth, that 22 is coming slowly but surely, Robert. We'll look for him up front here real soon.
Yeah, one other driver I do want to highlight real quick. We have the 30 of Dylan C. Jones. Dylan C. Jones started back in 13th. He has moved his way up to the 9th position. Dylan is racing that bright green Quaker State Chevy Silverado. He's one of these drivers who's a veteran driver. He's a teammate of the Dollar General 98 of David Washington. It would not surprise me at all, Joe, to see these two drivers bumper to nose, nose to bumper on the last restart of this race. But it definitely does not surprise me to see Dylan C. Jones making moves. He's up to the 8th position now.
Well, speaking of surprises, Robert, I have no surprise whatsoever. Curtis Young by Gabriel Wood on the low side. He's got him beat to the line right now by about a half a truck. It looks like he's going to make that pass. He's going to bring the 22 of Tanner Tallarico along with him. He's on the inside now of Gabriel Wood. Move that 94 and that 22 up a spot. Here they come looking for the lead.
Yeah, tell you what, these guys are fighting nose to tail. They are all over each other for second, third, and fourth. This is one of the best races or we got right now on lap 21. It definitely looks like a Gabriel on that 00 win sponsored truck has lost a couple positions. Like we said earlier, Tanner Tallarico saved a little bit of his equipment. He's making a move past the 94 of Curtis Young. He's going to set his sights on the number 98 of David Washington. And I tell you what, one thing, Joe, if we go through a full fuel run, I think the 22 of Tanner Tallarico might can catch a leader.
He may just do that, Robert, but right now David Washington's beginning to pull away as these guys go side by side. David Washington's up there grinning like a Cheshire cat who ate the canary. He's starting to pull away in that 98. I'm not sure if they can track him down. We'll see if Tanner Tallarico saved enough rubber, see if he can make any kind of dent in this lead that David Washington's coming back around right now with.
Yeah, not too far behind them. Gabriel Wood, Curtis Young, they're co-commentators. They are both got the green flag to jump in the truck tonight, and they are both got their best truck, their best equipment, their best spotter, their best crew chief. They're out here on the track trying to get their first win tonight. And I tell you what, they're racing as hard as they can. They're trying to keep the fenders on the front of the truck, the back of the truck. Looks like Curtis is getting a run on the inside right now of Gabriel Wood. It is awesome to see these co-commentators racing as hard as they are on the track. And hopefully if we do get a caution, we get one or both of them up in the booth to talk about how they're racing so hard on the track, because we know they are in competition in the broadcast booth, although they're not here tonight.
Well, I'll tell you what, Robert, I'm not sure if Gabriel Wood shouldn't be sponsored by a lead, because right now Curtis Young is giving him headaches. He is inside, outside. Finally looks like he's going to complete the pass this time. And up front, Tanner Tallarico is still losing ground to David Washington. He continues to pull away as they race back into one.
Yes, sir. I'm going to look a little bit further back in the field here real quick there, Joe. We're having an incredible 24-25 lap green flag run. I tell you what, this might be why NASCAR is not running the Camper World Series trucks here at California. They might think it's too boring, but it is not too boring here at Dominus 2IJ Racing. We got drivers battling all over the track here. And I tell you what, the fuel mileage game is going to be a big ingredient here on who's going to win this race. You might think the leader is going to be found in the top 3 or 4 or 5 right now, but fans, you better hold your powder for your gun smoke, for your pick to win that free pizza. Right now I'm looking back here in position 20th. We got JP Arsenault. He is driving, it looks like that number 11 CarQuest ASE. He's getting some heat right now on the inside from the number 19 of Ronald Klein in that KMA Racing. These guys, the trucks are looking perfect. They're on the lead lap. They're a few seconds behind. We have one quick caution. These guys are going to be right back in the game. And it looks like we're going to have some drivers already starting some pit stops. I tell you what, pit strategy here, Joe, is going to be very important. Who pits first, who has the most intelligent pit stops and the best pit stops.
Well, while we're talking about pit road, they've got to get these trucks woed up to 55 miles an hour. I talked to a couple drivers pre-race, and they said that was a tough deal coming off of turn 4 at 170. So you're going to be watching to see if any pit road speeding penalties are handed out here as well. We definitely have some takers, and we're going to have to cover up. We're going to have to catch up, see who hit pit road, and check out their strategy, and we'll update you guys in just a moment.
I tell you right now, Gio Vibronte, he's in that number 89 Toyota. He is on pit road right now. Right side's going up. He's getting 1 can of Sunoco Racing Fuel. Looks like the left sides are going up. He's getting his 2nd can of Sunoco Racing Fuel. He's going to be the first taker on pit road, and he's going to take advantage of those brand new 4 Goodyear Eagles. I tell you what, it's definitely going to make up some positions, and I think he's going to turn the hand of a lot of these leaders.
Yeah, I think once the first part of the cycle starts hitting pit road, I think that definitely does force the hand of the leaders. I watched Judd Danielson stop. He took 4 and 2 cans of Sunoco race fuel. Right now, David Washington's coming through 3. We'll see how long it is before he hits pit road in that Dollar General Tundra. So I would imagine he's going to get on here relatively quick, so he's not giving up a lot of time on the racetrack. That's
exactly what these leaders are going to have to figure out. It looks like we have some other drivers right now coming down pit road. I'm looking at one driver. Looks like the, give me a second. It looks like the 76 of Jeff T. Martin. He's making his way race down pit road. He is in the 15th position, 14th actually when he came off of pit road. And I'm sure, Joe, all these drivers making these green flag pit stops, they're going to do what their crew chief is saying, slide in the box straight. Do not overshoot your pit box. You're going to get 4 Goodyear Eagles, 2 cans of Sunoco Racing Fuel. And these new tires, I do believe, Joe, are going to make these leaders come to pit road sooner than they want to. And it's actually going to give an advantage to the guys with the brand new tires and the first 2 or 3 laps of the brand new tires.
Well, right now I'm still watching David Washington out front. He's going to bypass pit road another time. It seems like he's really been taking care of his tires, though. So here's another equation to that, Robert. If he's taking care of those tires, he can stretch this fuel and he can make the new guys or the guys on new tires pay the price for a little bit of extended fuel mileage as well. So there's 2 sides to the coin, and it'll be interesting to see how our leaders work the strategy in their favor.
That's an excellent point, Joe. And I tell you what, I say this every single race, almost, that I broadcast. It takes about 7 different perfect ingredients to win one of these races, as does NASCAR. You see the guys winning the races in NASCAR? They have all those 7 ingredients down pat for the most part every single week. So the guys who win our Domino's CYJ races, they've got those ingredients down pat for the most part every single race. And these are those 7 ingredients. You got to have a great truck, great car, you got to have a great driver. The other things that are super, super important, you got to have a great crew chief for adjustments on your truck with your steering, etc. And when you come down pit road, you got to have a great spotter. Make sure you're clear when you're coming off of pit road, in pit road, passing other drivers. And then the biggest factor, Joe, you got to have a lot of luck, because often in these races you do have cautions, and if you can avoid the caution, which is all about luck, that is basically when you're going to win the race or have a top 5, if you can avoid the big cautions. So far we have had no cautions tonight, and maybe we'll go green. We've had a couple of California races here at Auto Club, Joe. Last year we did go green, so right now it is looking like a green race. I did hear the 94 of Curtis Young, and I just heard the 98 of David Washington coming down pit road the next time by. So this is going to definitely mix things up, Joe.
Absolutely right, Robert, you are. I tell you what, you were talking about ingredients. If that's the case, watch out, because Tanner Tallarico is cooking right now. He's starting to reel in David Washington just a little bit. He was a little bit slower that lap, but the interval went from 1.8 seconds down to 1 second flat. So I tell you what, Tanner Tallarico is saving his tires. He's watching how he's racing. He's racing the track, not the other drivers, and it's starting to pay off for him. Maybe Tanner Tallarico has all the ingredients. Maybe he'll find himself cooking in victory lane tonight, Robert.
Yes, sir. If we can pull up the number 2 of Blake Griffith, last lap by, he's coming into pit road. Looks like he locks him up. He spins into the infield grass. He is unable to make pit road there. The caution does not come out. We stay green. But unfortunately, Blake Griffith, that number 2 machine, is one of our best drivers. He completely missed pit road. It cost him at least 1 lap, maybe 2 laps, and that's going to ruin his chances of winning a race unless a miracle comes out of his rabbit tail.
That's exactly right. So we've got 2 of the leaders up front. Looks like Gabriel Wood and Curtis Young have decided to finally bring those trucks in. They're going to throw on 4 Goodyear rubbers, 2 cans of Sunoco racing fuel, as I suspected they would, and it looks like they're going to be off pit road. We're still going to be watching Davey Washington. I don't think he's hit pit road yet, so he's going to be giving up even more time. This may come back to bite him here real soon.
I tell you what.
Exactly.
David Washington still shows the way here in Fontana. He's working off of 2. Right behind him, Tanner Tallarico, 1.2 seconds back. We'd like to remind you guys that neither of these drivers have hit pit road yet. Everybody else seems to have already cycled through, so we're just waiting for the 98 and the 22 to find themselves on pit road. We're waiting for that pit crew to make that call right now.
Thanks, Joe. I had a momentary 2-second slight technical issue with my microphone. I am definitely right back. We got all kind of drivers coming up here right now. I do want to remind the fans, we do appreciate all you watching tonight. This is the Servpro 200. If we get a caution flag, we will definitely go to commercial, give you all the details of Servpro. But I can tell you real quick right now, Servpro has the fastest response time to any disaster you're ever going to have in your home. I don't care if you're renting or you're a homeowner. You have the washing machine overflow, you have a toilet overflow, you have a hot water heater, which is the most often case, go bad and leak in your upstairs, leak down to your downstairs. You want to call 1-800-SERVPRO. They have the #1 fastest response time to any disaster you can have. It also includes tornadoes, hurricanes. But I tell you what, right now, it's looking like, as we have green flag pit stops going on, it definitely looks like, I think Dave Washington, the number 98 M&M's, he went over his pit box. He had to back up. That's going to cost him some serious time here, Joe.
Right now up front.
Yeah, go ahead, Joe.
Right now up front, looks like, is that the 00 that I see up front, Gabriel Wood? Fans, looks like Ronald Klein is second lead and uses pit strategy. But Robert, like we talked about, Gabriel Wood, remember, he pitted early and he took those tires and he started making up some time on the leaders. Right now, he's fixed to pick up the lead as they work off 2. Let's move that 00 up to the front. Gabriel Wood, our pole sitter, he's played this strategy perfect. So it's going to be interesting to see how this pit road strategy begins to work out for these guys that have lost a couple spots. They might have learned something, they might not have, but I'll tell you what I've learned real quick. Pit strategy is key. That 00's up front and he's pulling away. Everybody better watch out for Mr. Gabriel Wood.
Yeah, I tell you what, Gabriel Wood, otherwise known as Gabe, to all of his friends, he is a very, very talented broadcaster voice for many, many broadcasting companies here in iRacing. He's also proven to be a very talented driver. What I was trying to get back to, guys, again, forgive me for my minor microphone technicalities. Fans, you have got less than 4 laps to get your picks in. We have not done this many times tonight. We want to make sure you are included because you fans are very, very important to Domino's CRJ Racing and All Pro Broadcasting. All you have to do to win your free pizza, we'll get the graphic pulled up real quick. You got 3 laps now to get your pick in. All you have to do, fans, text 919-883-7497, or if you're watching on your device, you can comment in the live chat. I choose this driver to win the race. You've got 2.5 laps before lap 40. Excuse me, I'm completely wrong on that. You have got 12.5 laps before lap 50 to get your pick in. This is a 100 lap race, so you have until lap 50 to get your pick in. But we have not put that out there enough tonight. And fans, we want to make sure you get every single opportunity to get your free pizza pick in. We've done about 28 free pizzas so far this year. Joe, it's an incredible thing to do. We are very thankful to Domino's and Domino's TYJ Racing for giving these away. Fans, you can also win these free pizzas tomorrow night, Thursday night, 8:50 p.m. Eastern if you tune in. You can also win them on Sunday night, 8:50 p.m. Eastern. And fans, we absolutely, highly encourage you to click the subscribe button on the All Pro Broadcasting link. That way you get the automatic reminder. And we do have a caution out right now.
Robert, looks like the 85 of Judd Danielson got loose just there, coming off just a little bit. Went up and collected another driver. I couldn't identify him, just see who it was, but Judd Danielson with a lot of damage on that right front. I'm not sure that he's going to be able to go on.
Yes, sir. We'll definitely get this replay pulled up real quick. It definitely looks like the 85 of Judd Danielson had some issues there. We're getting that replay pulled up. Looks like he just got kind of up in the wall, coming out of the turn 4. He tried to save it, was unable to, and unfortunately, wow, JP Arsenal number 11 truck got involved as well. Other than that, I think everybody else got through pretty clean. We did have about 38 laps of green flag racing. Even the best drivers make a mistake from time to time. Fans, you are watching the Servpro 200 live on All Pro Broadcasting. We're going to take our first of hopefully only 2 quick commercial breaks. We'll be right back in just a minute, fans. Make sure you come right back. That way you can get your free pick in before lap 50. Servpro is the fastest response time to any disaster. We're going to take a quick 2-minute commercial break. We'll be right back, fans.
When you're ready,
Servpro, how can we help?
help gets there faster. The cleanup specialists at 1-800-SERVPRO and ServPro.com. Helping make fire and water damage like it never even happened.
Hey, this is Garrett Smithley, driver the number 0 JD Motorsports Chevrolet, and you're watching All Pro Broadcasting.
Did your little storm knock out the power? Well, excuse me for not noticing.
Hate to disappoint you, old man Winter. Better luck next time.
If the power goes out, your Generac standby generator goes on, automatically.
Down trees? Flash floods? Is that all you've got?
Stand up to the threat of outages with Generac and never feel powerless.
Welcome back, race fans, to the Domino's TYJ Racing Dented Fender Series on All Pro Broadcasting. This is the Servpro 200. This is our famous non-points special event race. We got all kind of drivers in the field tonight, from the lowest class of our divisions to the highest class. I tell you what, Joe, it looks like we got up front coming to the restart of Ronald Klein in first. I'm not sure how the pit stops went down. He's in front of Gabriel Wood, David Washington, Curtis Young, and William Roberts Jr., who were up front to begin with. What did you see there on pit stops?
Not a lot of takers, Robert. Like I said, I'm interested to see how that 19 got up there. I had stepped away from the booth for just a moment, but I'm not real sure he's ready for Gabriel Wood on the outside. I say by turn one, that 00 will be long gone. Looks like the lights are off atop the pace car. We'll be looking for that green flag as they work their way out of fourth.
Yes, sir. I'll definitely let you take this restart and see what happens here.
They bunch back up as we're waiting for that green flag. Back on the loud pedal, looks like Ronald Klein's going to get about a car length ahead of Gabriel Wood. They're side by side on the back with him and David Washington as they work off into one. Here comes the 94 of Curtis Young. He's going to dive down low, almost 3 wide, thought better of it. Ronald Klein begins to pull away just a little bit. Let's call it 3 car lengths. Hold the brakes. Here comes the 98 of David Washington. We know he's strong. He's been up front all night. He wants that lead again. He begins to chase down Ronald Klein on the outside.
I tell you what, these drivers are keeping it lean and clean and green so far. We had our first many laps of green flag racing, and I do want to remind the fans real quick, we've got about 5 laps to get your pick in for the free Domino's Pizza. All you have to do is text 919-883-7497, or if you're in the live chat, you say, I picked this driver to win the race. And unfortunately, everybody has to forgive me. We are now going to do our lap 39 moment of silence here in about 1 lap. This is a very special occasion. We have got a serious moment of silence for a very respected fallen officer in the field of firefighting. 39-year veteran of the Lennox, South Dakota Fire Department. I missed this on lap 39. My bad. I think we went to commercial break. This is for Gary Sather. He spent 39 years of service with the Lennox Fire Department, 6 years in the South Dakota National Guard. He lost his life to cancer this last week. So fans, we're going to take 1 or 2 laps, moment of silence to respect this great man who gave his whole life to serve his country in his state, in his city, fighting fires. We'll be back in 2 laps. Thank you, fans. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Michael D'Amico with All Pro Broadcasting. We love giving the honor and respect to any and all military, police, and firefighters in the line of duty, especially those who have made the incredible sacrifice to keep our country safe and free. So you can watch what we're doing tonight. We can broadcast what we're doing tonight. And these 30-plus drivers can do what they love to do here in iRacing. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you, Joe. What's going on up front?
Up front, Robert, right now looks like the three-car breakaway between David Washington, Gabriel Wood, and don't look now, Tanner Tallarico. We know earlier in the run he took care of his tires through the long run and started making up a lot of ground. I'm starting to see that 22 truck come to the front just like last time. Watch out for that Silverado because I'm sure he's on fire with those flames running down the side of it, Robert.
I tell you what, we got some new drivers up front. We definitely have got the top three. We got William Roberts, like you just said. He's in fourth. I'm not sure you mentioned him, which is fine. He's in that Monster Energy Toyota Tundra, excuse me. We also have Curtis Young in that Chevrolet Silverado. He's up to fifth. He's been up front all night. We also have Eric Stanford in that number 24 ESBilliards.com Toyota Tundra. He's up to the sixth position. We got William Davis. He's in that Georgia number 20 Chevrolet Silverado. Ronald Klein's been up front all night long. That KMA Racing number 19 Chevrolet Silverado. But we also have now Gary Sexton. He's up to ninth position here. Looks like Gary started back in 16. He probably had a really good pit stop. Oh, and he just got into the 19. Unfortunately, he's spinning. Unfortunately, I jinxed him. I hate it for Gary. He's one of our greatest drivers. He did keep it off the wall. And unfortunately, he lost 4, 5, 6, 8, maybe 10, 12 positions. But Gary's going to keep it rolling here. I don't think he had any major damage. We're definitely going to have some more pit stops here. He'll be able to make his way back up to the field, hopefully. And back behind him, as they're going through the field real quick, we got it all the way back. We got James Ross. He's not number 51 Jags Toyota Tundra. He's in the 13th position. I think I failed to mention Gerald Campbell. Oh, and he gets on there and he gets loose. He's going to lose at least one position, I think. He actually saved it. Great save there. Looks like the number 3 of Mark Jackson in that over-the-top paints. Chevrolet Silverado gets around him for the 13th position. So I tell you what, Joe, we got drivers all over the track trying to make moves.
Robert, if I'm driving right now, I'm not real sure I want you calling my number. It's got some crazy stuff going on right now. Up front again, David Washington, Gabriel Wood, Tanner Tallarico still show the way. There's a new player that's starting to creep into the picture, William Roberts Jr. He had a little bit of damage on that 12 truck earlier, but he's taking care of his tires. He's starting to make his way to the front. So it'll be interesting to see if that 12 can start catching these leaders. Again, up front, Tanner Tallarico is starting to bear down again on Gabriel Wood. I think we're going to see that 22 come to the front. He's been taking care of his gear all night long. His tires are the most important thing on the track right now, and Tanner Tallarico knows how to take care of his equipment. That 22 truck looks strong, Robert. What are you thinking?
I tell you what, Tanner is definitely one of my picks, although I cannot win a free pizza. And by the way, fans, we are past lap 50. Hopefully you got your picks in. Obviously, Joe cannot win a free pizza. I cannot win a free pizza. None of these drivers can win a free pizza. If you're one of the drivers and you're not in the race tonight, but you are a paid member of Domino's TYG Racing, and by the way, yes, fans, we have over 100 drivers who have paid a fee to be part of what we're doing here, whether than the Den Fender Truck Series, the Premier Xfinity Series, which are on Thursday nights, and they alternate with the Top Shelf Cup Series the other Thursday nights, not to mention our brand new Renegade Dirt Series on Sunday nights. All these drivers have paid a fee to be part of what we're doing here to bring you this incredible, unbelievable side-by-side action. I tell you what, there are a lot of great leagues out there. We're just trying to be one of the good ones, but we have been able and blessed to recruit a lot of very, very talented drivers to put on a great show like tonight. But I tell you what, none of us can win the free pizza. And unfortunately, we're past lap 50. Hopefully you got your pick in. And we're very thankful to all the sponsors, including Servpro. They had the fastest response time. We had the commercial earlier. But I tell you what, we got some drivers in the back of the field here that I'm expecting to make a move up to the front. One of those is a Mark Jackson. He's in that number 3 of the top paints, Domino's TYG Racing. Silverado. He's back in 12th, but we got a long way to go here. Some other drivers a little bit further back that it would not surprise me, Joe, to see up to the front before this race is over. James Ross in the number 51 Jegs.com Toyota Tundra. He's won, I think, 3, maybe 4 truck races so far this year. He's unfortunately, uncharacteristically, back in 13th, Joe, but I think he can make his way back up front. But if we stay green, it's going to be a big challenge.
It is going to be a tough challenge, Robert. You're exactly right. Again, the truck that I'm starting to pay attention to is that 12 of William Roberts Jr. Earlier in the night, he was back there around 10th spot, just kind of hanging out, taking care of his truck, had a little bit of damage, got that fixed on pit road. Robert, he's starting to catch our leaders. He's now down under a second. And now what I'm starting to see is I believe he's taking care of his tires. He's kind of slow played them, and he's let the leaders kind of get out front. But now he's starting to reel them back in. So exactly how much did he say? We don't know. But he's definitely making up some ground. The other thing you've got to remember, Robert, is we've still got 43 more laps to go. These guys are going to have to stop at least one more time, so fuel mileage may come into play here as well. Going to take a lot of talent from these guys, and they're all out there right now. California dreaming of that win, Robert. We're going to see who's going to make it a reality real soon.
I tell you what, that is a great point there, Joe. California dreaming. I love it. All these drivers are doing that exactly. We got all kind of drivers up front. We got a few drivers back here in the back of the field I'm going to talk about real quick. Dylan C. Jones, he's in the 13th position, the Quake State number 30. We got some other drivers a little further back. We've actually got Shane Parrish. He's in that Toyota Tundra. This is Servpro 200 sponsor in the 81. He's in 14th. He can make a big strategy play. A couple quick drivers other. We already talked about James Ross. Kevin Fetty. He pops in and drives quite a few races every year. He is one of our talented drivers in that 699 Chevrolet Silverado. Would not ever surprise me to see him pull off a win. I've seen him do it before. He's a great road racer, but he's also great racing here on the big ovals. We've also got Mike Donahue. He's in that Miller American 700 Chevrolet Silverado. He's also one of the pop-in drivers from time to time. He's one of the great drivers I've known, as well as Kevin Fetty for the last couple of years. These are both very talented gentlemen, very high-quality men. I'm very excited to see them in the race tonight, and I definitely am pulling for them to pull off a top 5, maybe even a win. We've got behind him, obviously, we talked about Ray Richard earlier. He's in the number 44 Silverado. He's back in 18th. We've also got Gary Weston. Let's see him in racing. He's in the K&N Toyota Tundra. He's looking pretty good here in 23rd. We've also got Blake Griffith. He had problems there coming to pit road earlier in the race in the JTM Motorsports number 2. It put him all the way back in 19th, but he's more like a top 10 driver. He's trying to make his way through the field here in the second half of the race. We've also got Ivan Garcia in that Tide Dawn Chevrolet Silverado number 72. He is also one of our very talented drivers, and you might not know this, but the number 72 on his truck is close to his age. I'm not telling you how old he is, but he is doing a great job for his age. We're looking to have Ivan in our series here, and he's doing a great job tonight. We've also got Sean Kalis. He always brings some of the unbelievable great paint jobs here to the race. He's in that Marathon American Spirit Motor Oil Silverado number 45. He's back in 21st. He has gained a lot of knowledge and experience in our series, and he's always a threat to get a top 20 finish, and he can also pull out a fuel mileage win. He might get a win here tonight or top 3 on fuel mileage, because we definitely have a green flag look. Real quick, we got Gary Sexton. He had that problem earlier, contact. He's back to 22nd. He's going to get it gathered back up. Next pit stop, I'm sure he's going to take advantage of that. Tim Ranger's in 24th here, and the other JTM Motorsports sponsor truck number 70 back in 24th. He can pull out a win anytime, especially with fuel mileage. We have Dave Washington back as the leader. I tell you what, Joe, we just kind of went through the field there, back half. We got a lot of great drivers here, and I love this green flag look.
Yeah, you're exactly right there, Robert. Oh, you know, if we can have a award for paint schemes, the award tonight would go to that 17 of Gary Sexton. Fans, this guy, to show you how much he loves Domino's TYJ, he's got the Dirt Renegade Series sponsor on the hood from Domino's TYJ. And if you take a look at it, there's dirt all over the truck as well. So it's very interesting to see that how our drivers support each other. You know, as far as the Domino's TYJ racing family, we're looking for big things from Gary throughout the rest of the year. He's a great driver. He's a great friend, and you know, we expect nothing but the best from him.
Yeah, I tell you what, we got a lot of guys with a lot of great paint schemes, and he is definitely one of them. We got some other guys with basic paint schemes, but they got all kind of what we call raw talent Smoking Joe Johnson, you know exactly what it's made of. And I think we're hearing some drivers coming down pit right now. Their crew chiefs are saying, okay, let's bring it on in. We're in our pit window. We pit now, we can make it into the race if we stay green. And this could be the strategy call for the winning race. Who's on pit road now, Joe?
It looks like Gerald Gamble in the 6 is going to be coming into that Chevy Silverado. Robert, you're exactly right. We can make it from here. He's right on the inside. He's right there on the fuel window. Now, for a short pit to work, here's how it has to happen. When he comes into pit, the leaders have to stay out another 3, 4, 5 laps in order for those new tires to start taking effect, where he can run down the leaders, and when they pit, folks, he'll pass them in the pits. But if they start pitting as soon as he does, the short pit strategy, out the window. So we're going to have to pay attention to our leaders, Robert, and see what they do next.
I tell you what, looks like Gerald Campbell and that Veterans of Foreign Wars, no scars, no story. We just passed the anniversary of D-Day. Fans, I know a lot of you guys are young men and women, and if you don't like this, I'm sorry. But if it weren't for the young men and women, and basically they were young men 40 years ago that fought for this country on D-Day, none of us would be here. We'd be speaking a foreign language. You would have no freedoms like we have today in the United States of America. And yes, I'm a big proponent of the military. And this Gerald Campbell paint scheme, he brings it almost every week. If it's not a throwback, Veterans of Foreign Wars. I tell you what, if you have a grandfather, if you have an uncle, if you have an aunt, if you have anybody who has ever served in the military, tonight before you go to bed, tomorrow morning before you go to work, before you go to school, you make sure you thank them for their service. Because I tell you what, without one of these men and women that served our country to protect us, we would not be here doing what we like to do. And I don't know about you, but I love my freedoms. And I give all the credit to our military, and I definitely give credit to anybody racing a paint scheme that honors those veterans. I tell you what, yes, this is Gerald Campbell, number 6, Veterans of Foreign War, no scars, no story. I love that motto. No scars, no story. I'll stop going on about that. But he had made the first pit stop. It'll be interesting to see if he's going to be able to make that early pit strategy work, Joe.
Robert, indeed it will. So I've got him pitting at lap 64, and on our fuel window, he should be about 5 laps to the good. Up front, our leaders are still single file, nose to tail. It looks like David Washington in the 98 Toyota Tundra's leading the way. Robert, they still haven't hit pit road. Now, we saw this last time. The guys stayed out just a little bit longer, and if you'll remember, Gabriel Wood and Curtis Young went on right around for the first place position. So if they stay out and they keep running like they're doing, you better watch out for that 6 truck, because he may just pull the upset here in Fontana.
We love upset winners. We love surprise winners. And we love drivers who can think. And the crew chief and the spotter can do a better job of thinking about the race and their strategy than just having the fast truck. Hey, everybody wants to have the fast truck. Everybody wants to have the fast car. I never have either one of them. That's why I'm in the broadcast booth. Joe always has a fast truck or a fast car. Yes, sir.
Don't look now, but William Roberts has just gotten around Gabriel Wood. William Roberts is now down under a second on the leaders. Tanner Tallarico is just 2 hundredths of a second off the leader. So we've got some good tight racing up front, but I'm interested to see again. I'm watching that 6 truck. I'm watching his lap times, and we want to see how he does when these guys pit. If he can make up enough ground, he's going to steal the lead, and depending on when they pit, he may be able to just hold them off. So we're going to see how it works out again. The leaders still are either going to stay out as they come out for one more time around.
Yeah, I tell you what, these leaders are definitely staying on track. Although it looks like the number 24 of Eric Stanford from the 5th position. Actually, I'm wrong.
That's the 00. He just pitted. Looks like
that's the 00 of Gabriel Wood. Yeah, my bad.
No, that's okay. We get excited up here in the booth, Robert. And, you know, we don't have the best of views up here, so we got to get out the binoculars every once in a while. David Washington, Tanner Tallarico, and William Roberts still show the way here at Fontana, 1st through 3rd. Gabriel Woods just jumped on pit road. Now, I'm going to be interested to see if that forces the hand of these first 3. I'm betting they're hitting pit road in the next 2 laps, Robert.
I tell you what, another surprise here. Gary Sexton, he had that contact earlier, went through the grass, saved his truck, no damage. He already came down pit road. He's off pit road. He got 4 brand new Goodyear tires, 2 cans of Sunoco fuel. He's back on the racetrack on the backstretch. He's going to gain some positions on these leaders who are staying out on old tires.
All right, now here comes William Roberts and Tanner Tallarico. They're going to hit pit road 55 miles an hour in what seems like an eternity on pit road. They're going to get them woed up into their stalls. They're both going to take 4 fresh tires and 2 cans of Sunoco racing fuel, and we're going to have to see how they cycle out once they get off pit road, Robert.
I also just noticed another driver, the number 15 of Andrew Kessler, just made his way down pit road, fans, and he's back on the backstretch. Andrew Kessler is that number 15 Toyota Tundra, sponsored by Chef Andy's. We've not talked much about Andrew Kessler tonight, but he is always a race favorite to win a race. He's already got 1 race here in the Dominus TYJ Racing Denton for the Truck Series. So I tell you what, the guys making their pit call, the pit strategy right now, coming down pit road, you never know who's going to pull it off. You never know when the caution's going to fly.
Dave, I tell you what, I do know. David Washington said, no moss. I need 4 freshmen and 2 cans. He's hit pit road. Leaders on pit road right now. We're going to have to see where that 98 cycles out once he gets it taken care of down there in pit road. Robert, I'm afraid, and hopefully I may be wrong, but I'll be interested to see if he retains the lead as he comes off. I'm betting he doesn't.
Yeah, I tell you what, I think Dave Washington's a little bit late on pit road. All you and I are broadcasters tonight, so all we can do is predict. We can give our best guess, but I tell you what, we don't know the answer. That's why, fans, you got to wait all the way to the end of the race to see who wins the race, to see if you and your pick will get the free pizza tonight, because this is one of those races here in California, and this is one of those races, the Domino's TYJ Racing, we are very proud to put on, where you have very few cautions. You might think it's boring, but if you made your pick and you are hungry for a free pizza for this weekend, you're going to be watching every single lap of these last, looks like 28, 29 laps to see who's going to win the race, because you never know what's going to happen. And if you made a pick and you go to bed right now, you'll never know. You might not ever see the text. So you better stay up. You better keep watching the broadcast and All-Pro Broadcasting. And one more thing, make sure you click the subscribe button, fans. It looks like we had the leader, Austin. Who was that?
Dylan C. Jones weren't around on pit road.
Yeah, Dylan C. Jones was the leader. He spun down pit road. It's going to cost him all kind of time. Joe, what do you see?
Right now, it looks like we got some guys that are staying out, Robert, and I'm trying to catch up on the backside of the field to see exactly where everything's cycling out. As of right now, it looks like David Washington, the guy that's been up front all night long, he's mired back there in 7th. Give a hat tip to James Ross. Right now, James Ross is shown as the leader. Robert, do we know if he's hit pit road yet?
He has not hit pit road. If he passes it this time, it looks like he's coming down right now. I tell you what, fans, this is going to be the pit call of the night. We're going to follow James Ross down pit road. He has got at least 3, maybe 4 Domino's TYJ Racing Denton Fender Truck Series wins to his hat, in his feather, in his hat, He's in that Jegs.com Toyota Tundra. I think he might even outsmart his predecessor, Dave Washington, 98. James Ross is coming to pit road. He is down in his pit box perfectly. He slides to a stop. Oh, he had to back up. He's going to lose 1, maybe 2 seconds. It's going to take a few seconds for the pit crew to get to the right side. The right side's going up. 2 right side Goodyear Eagles. 1 can of Sunoco fuel. He has definitely taken 2 left side tires. A 2nd can of Sunoco fuel. But that miscue on pit road, which is uncharacteristic of James Ross and that Jegs.com Toyota Tundra 51, is going to cost him at least 3 seconds. In green flag pit stops, Joe, I'm afraid it's going to cost him to win.
Robert, that's what you talked about earlier. It takes so much luck to win one of these races, mixed in with some skill as well. Right now, our leader looks like it's going to be Sean Kalis. He's got a 10-second lead on 2nd place. So, I'm not sure if Sean's hit pit road yet or not, but if he hasn't, it's going to be interesting to see if our guys can run him down. Right now, it looks like David Washington's all the way back 10 seconds behind the number 45. So with 25 left to go, it'll be interesting to see if those new tires can catch him.
Yes, sir. We'll give a quick Domino's driver profile to the number 45 of Sean Kalis. He is one of our newer drivers. He's pulling the pit strategy. He's waiting for the caution to come out to maintain this lead and trap all these drivers down 1 lap. Sean Kalis is from Brighton, Illinois. He is from Team SBT. He's got 10 years in sim racing. He did win a 70-lap Indy at Daytona win here on iRacing. So he's a very talented driver. He is just learning these trucks, and I tell you what, he's doing everything he can to stay on the track in the lead right now. He started all the way back, it looks like, in 27th on qualifying, and if the caution does not come out, I'm afraid it's going to burn him. Caution comes out, he's going to be looking really pretty, Joe.
Well, Robert, that's just part of the luck or the hand you have to play here. You know, you never know how the chips are going to fall, and when you're in the back, you're willing to do just about anything to get up front. So Sean's played his cards. Now we have to wait and see if it starts to work out. It doesn't look like David Washington's making up a whole lot of time on him, but again, he's probably going to have to hit pit road. We've got about 23 laps left. I'm really not sure that he can make it.
Yeah, I would be, if I was a betting man, which I am not, Sean is definitely going to have to come down pit road for at least a splash of fuel, and even just a splash of fuel is going to lose him the lead. But if we have a caution now, I just heard, looks like the number 45 spotter, crew chief, just called his driver into pit road. He's coming down pit road. He stayed out as long as he could, Joe. You got to give him all the credit in the world. He is a very small funded team here all by himself, and he is doing a great job. He led 4 or 5 laps here in California. He's coming down pit road. We are going to follow his pit stop here. Looks like the number 45 Marathon. Let me get that pulled up real quick. Marathon Oil Racing Chevrolet Silverado. Beautiful paint scheme. Every single time Sean Kalis comes to the track, he's got one of the best paint schemes on the track. This is the American Spirit Marathon Motor Oil Chevy Silverado. Right side's going up, 2 right side Goodyear Eagles. Left side's going up. 2 cans of Sunoco Racing Fuel, 2 Goodyear Eagles on the left side. He is away, but unfortunately, he's got a little bit of damage on the right. But he is not going to win the race, but he led some laps here, and he definitely has made his name known that he is one of the cleanest drivers in the series. He's learning a lot. It's good to see him here.
Back up front, same lap, different story. We're going to get the lead back to David Washington. Tanner Tallarico is going to be in second. Gabriel Woods third, and they're followed by William Roberts Jr. in fourth. William Davis back there. He's going to round out the top 5. Robert, I think if anybody picked one of these drivers right now, they're sitting pretty for that Domino's free pizza from Domino's TYJ. So, Robert, who's your pick up here in the top 5?
I tell you what, it is hard to pick against David Washington in any race he's in. But I'm not giving it to him. I am absolutely not giving it to him. I definitely think we could have a caution here. I definitely think some of these drivers behind him, the number 22 of Talent Tallarico is a very talented driver. He knows how to manage his tires. He's in that drill spill Chevrolet Silverado. A little more information on him. It's a Tallarico Signs and Design Chevrolet Silverado. So he does his own paint schemes. I've seen a lot of his paint schemes on some other trucks here, other Xfinity cars. Tanner is a very talented driver as well as a very talented painter. Would not surprise me at all, Joe, to see him make up the time, get around Dave Washington. Dave can make a big mistake, you never know. You can never count out Gabriel Wood. He is one of our favorite broadcasters here. He's racing the Winview Games Chevrolet Silverado, number 00. I tell you what, Joe, he had the pole. He led the first, 5-10 laps of the race. We know he's got the speed here. I think he can get back up there and win the race, too. Don't ever count out Gary Weston. Actually, he's 22nd lap down, William Davis is in 5th back there in the number 20 Georgia-sponsored Chevrolet Silverado. He can make a move here to the front. I tell you what, all kind of guys. You can never rule out Eric Stanford, the number 24. Beautiful paint job. If you look in front of his truck, that's a Toyota Tundra ES Billiards. I'm not sure, Joe, I've ever seen a paint job on the front, middle of the hood of a truck like that. You do some incredible paint jobs yourself, Joe. I've got one of them myself, but this is a great-looking job on his Toyota Tundra. We got Mark Jackson there in the over-the-top paint and Hans Chevrolet Silverado. His truck looks good. He can make a move. The main thing is here, Joe, anybody can make a move, especially if we have a caution.
That's exactly right, Robert. And right now, David Washington beginning to pull away just a little bit to the dismay of Tanner Tallarico. He's now 1.2 seconds up on second place. David Washington may be wrapping this one up here early in Fontana. We're going to follow along with that 98 truck and see if he begins to continue to creep away from the field. Right now, it looks like David Washington's got to beat.
Yeah, it definitely looks like he is. But we got about 18 laps left here. Is David Washington using up his equipment? I think he might be.
Oh, Robert, if he is, is it's showing. He's up another 0.3 of a second. He's at 1.5 seconds now, pulling away on Tanner Tallarico and Gabriel Wood. They're still battling nose to tail, and that's all David Washington needs to see. He begins to really put that gas pedal down, and he is gone. David Washington out front by a lot.
I tell you what, this is very exciting. And I tell you what, this has been a great show by the whole group of Domino's TYJ Racing Series members. I tell you what, we've got a few more of these drivers. We might do a real quick Domino's driver profile. Who you seen in the back? Say 10th. Actually, we got him out here for a second, looks like. Looks like Gabriel Wood's making a move on the inside there.
Tanner Tallarico's tires may be going away just a little bit as he's trying to chase down that 98 truck up front, and that's allowed Gabriel Wood to pull right up on his back bumper. Gabriel Wood starting to work that inside just a little bit. Tanner's starting to push up the track, so those tires may be showing. We'll have to keep up with this battle to see if that 00 can take second.
Yes, sir. While we're talking about the 00 with Gabriel Wood, here's a quick Domino's driver profile on him. I hope he can pull off the win. Gabriel Wood is from Valdosta, Georgia. He's driving that 00 Win-sponsored Chevrolet. His team is Boomtown Sim Racing. His sponsors are AA Tranch, Ohio Ag Equipment, Windview Games he has on the truck tonight. He's been in sim racing for 5 years. He is actually, in real-life racing fans, check this out. This might be why he's a good racer here. He is the front tire carrier on the Fast Track number 10 ARCA racing team that you can watch live on TV every time ARCA races. Yes, you'll see Gabriel Wood in his suit carrying the front tire for that number 10 car. Make sure you check him out. And I tell you what, we're just honored and privileged to have somebody like that in our series. Not to mention he's a great broadcaster. He wants to give special thanks to Corbin Hemstreet, Andy Hellenberg, Dick Donnery, and David King. Again, we're happy to see Gabriel Wood here in the 00 having a great run again tonight.
Well, Robert, I'm watching the Domino's TYJ tracker up here in the booth, and he's not making a whole lot of time on David Washington. Neither is Tanner Tallarico. David Washington still out front, a second and a half as these laps begin to wind down. We've got a little under 14 to go, and I don't see any way that anybody is catching the 98 of David Washington at this rate. They lost another almost half a second that lap, so unless there's a caution or something, I don't see these guys catching them. So right now I think they're probably going to ride where they are and just get out of here with good thoughts about themselves, because they were able to save their race car and keep them clean all night long. Obviously this isn't a points race, so not a lot to show for it except for the win, so you can tell they're going to leave a little bit disappointed.
I tell you what, we got bragging rights on the line. We do have a lot of drivers that are having maybe a subpar performance, but at the same time, Joe, we're having a lot of drivers with a higher than average performance.
That's exactly
one driver comes to mind. We got David Wright. He is in that number 42 truck. He started back in 22nd. He's up to the 8th position.
Yeah,
Real quick. Yeah, go ahead.
When he was in practice, he only ran the 27th quickest lap, so he's definitely improved all night long. He's gotten really fast. He's played his pitch strategy correctly. He's taken care of that truck. And, this is a good learning experience for him as well, Robert. He's going to take what he's learned here tonight into other races throughout the season. He'll remember how he did this one. And that's what makes some of the Domino's TYJ drivers so good, is you're able to watch them come in from the beginning of the year, and they only get better and better. And by the time they're done, they're a threat to win almost every race. So, definitely some guys make a lot of headway in this league, and that's why we all love being here in Domino's TYJ.
Yes, sir. Back to David Wright real quick. I can tell you, as a personal fact, he has won a lot of races in a lot of other leagues. He is racing that number 42 Triad Computer Works Chevrolet Silverado. And he is up here in the 8th position. He's had a lot of bad luck in the Domino's TYJ Racing Series, basically over the last 6-8 months, but he's got a great showing tonight in 8th. I think he can probably get 7th. And I tell you what, we love having David right here and pulling for him to get his first win in Domino's TYJ Racing. Like I said, he's got at least a half dozen wins in other series, so he knows how to get it done. It's just a matter of getting it done around these other drivers in our series.
I tell you what, Robert, let's give a hat tip to these guys out here racing tonight. You know, I just took a glance at the elapsed time clock for our racing, and folks, we've gone 200 miles in just a little over an hour. So if that tells you anything, these guys are moving. You know, there's been one yellow flag all night long because of how these guys race. They race clean, they race professionally, and they put on a great show. So again, hat tip to all of our drivers here at Domino's TYJ.
Yeah, I tell you what, it's not easy, and you all know this, Joe, because you definitely race in the Xfinity Series. That is one of our most competitive series. You can almost vouch for this show. It's also one of our most, because of the competitiveness, there's a lot of contact in the Xfinity Series, the Premier Xfinity Series, Domino's TYJ Racing. So it is one of these series that is very difficult to get a top 5 in any given day of the week that we race, which is Thursday nights, every other Thursday, Joe. You've had a lot of good finishes there. You've had a win this year already. Was that in the trucks or was that in the Xfinity, Joe?
That was in Xfinity, and it's great because, you know, I'm originally from Georgia, so to win at Atlanta was nice. Now, Robert, we've got a race tomorrow night, correct?
Absolutely. We do have the next time for you fans to get your chance to win the free 3-topping large Domino's pizza, carry-out only. How you can do that is tomorrow night, 8:50 p.m. Eastern. We'll be right back here. Exact same live channel, All Pro Broadcasting. You want to make sure you tune in. You want to make sure you pick in before lap 50. You got another 100-lap race at Michigan. These are the Xfinity cars. They've got a brand new setup according to iRacing. So the racing is going to be unpredictable, more so than ever, because these drivers do not have much practice. But it is the Xfinity car, Joe. You'll be in there. Hopefully you get a top 5 qualifying position. You can stay out of all the trouble. Hopefully you pull off the win tomorrow night. It'll also be the Servpro 200 again at Michigan International Speedway. It's another 2-mile track. It's similar to this one in California, but it is different. How is it different there, Joe?
You know, Robert, Michigan's a lot different. It's a lot of wide open racing. You can really take the car deep down into the turns, half throttle, full throttle, depending on the tire model that iRacing provides. One thing that we love in Michigan is that speed, Robert. It's just a fast racetrack, lots of grip, and you know, sometimes that really fools some of those guys. They like to go off in those corners a little too quick, and that back end snaps around, and by then it's too late to check up, and you're into a mess. So, you know, it's going to be important to take care of your car, pay attention to what's going on, and not get overconfident. Race the racetrack, not the competition. That's kind of my motto.
Yeah, I tell you what, tomorrow night is going to be a similar track, but the Xfinity cars, Joe, real quick, before we have our last 5-lap countdown here tonight, the Xfinity car is a completely different animal. It's got at least, would you say, 200 more horsepower. So when you hit the gas coming out of the corner, you got a much bigger chance of getting your car loose than you do here in the truck. And your tires are also going to wear out a lot quicker than in these trucks. So everything's going to be different other than the fact we're on another 2-mile track.
David Washington, he's going to come across the stripe right with 5 laps to go. He's going to take that 98 back down into turn 1, clear sailing. 2 seconds ahead of the nearest car. That's Gabriel Wood back there. Tanner Tallarico back there in second place in the 22. He's run a great race, but David Washington begins to pull away, and he's starting to see those checkered flags, and he's California dreaming of victory lane here in Fontana.
Yeah, I tell you what, most of these drivers have had a very clean race. They've done everything they can do to get their win tonight. They have done what you just said, California dreaming. We all like to dream, fans. We thank you for being here. Hopefully, as you're watching our races here at Domino's TYJ Racing, whether you're a man, a woman, a young man, a young woman, whether you're a child, young boy, young girl, hopefully you're watching these races, you're watching these beautiful trucks drive around this 2-mile track, and every single week you watch us here at Domino's TYJ Racing, your whole family's watching here at All Pro Broadcasting. Hopefully, fans, what you're doing is you are California dreaming. I tell you what, I'm in the booth here watching these races. I'm calling with my best friend, one of my best friends here, Joe Johnson. I'm actually California dreaming. I'm wishing I was in one of these trucks, in one of these Xfinity cars tomorrow night, or Top Shelf Cup next Thursday night at Michigan. And all you can do, you can imagine yourself in these vehicles running almost 200 miles an hour with some of the best competition, with some of the best equipment, and you do not have to spend what would you say? $100,000, Joe, to be actually doing it in real life?
Absolutely, probably a lot more than that, Robert. We got back into iRacing now 4 or 5 years ago, and it's amazing what you can do as far as getting into this for almost next to nothing. You put back just a little bit of money a month, you can go racing every weekend. You don't have to worry about fuel, tires, nothing at all, but just enjoying yourself. So if you haven't already checked out iRacing, you really need to. You really need to get involved, because once you start, you're not going to be able to stop. Just this time by, David Washington's going to get those popsicle sticks in the air. 2 to go here at Fontana.
Yeah, I tell you what, these drivers have definitely put on one of the best performances I've ever seen here at Domino's Georgia Racing. There's, like I said, a lot of good leagues out there. They all have a lot of great races. We had one, I think, California Auto Club race last year, I think in one of the cars, Xfinity truck or a Cup. And we went the whole race with no cautions. But this has been one of the next to that best races I've seen. Fans, this is where it comes down to the crew chief, the spotter, not making mistakes on pit road, which some drivers have done tonight. Other drivers have made other mistakes, missing pit road altogether. The number 2 of Blake Griffin, I think, happened to him. He started earlier in the race in 11th. He's back in 18th. He's the last truck on the lead lap. His whole chance to win the race is over. So you got to have a perfect race, all those 7 ingredients like I talked about earlier. And right now tonight, it definitely looks like Dave Washington is the man to beat. I'll let you take us to the checker flag there, Joe.
Coming off turn 4, David Washington, he's going to bring that Tundra back, looking for the white flag. This time by, the 98's going to take it here at the stripe. He's going to come back into 1, and I can guarantee you now he's already thinking about victory lane. He's put on a clinic here at Fontana. He's kept his truck clean. He's played his fuel correctly, his pit strategy, the ons, the offs without speeding. The 98 starts to look for the win. He's going to come out of 2. Got a little bit of lap traffic, but he's not going to push the issue. He's going to ride right where he is. Now, Robert, I've been able to be inside one of these trucks when they're coming to the checkered flag, and your heart's beating, real fast. Your hands are starting to get a little sweaty. You're getting excited. So working off 4, looks like David Washington is going to take the win here in Fontana, California. Congrats to him and his whole team.
Yeah, I tell you what, Joe, that is an incredible win there by our winner here. We've always got these great races here. Obviously, we got David Washington winning the race here. And Joe, if you'll go through the top finishing order here, I will definitely tell these drivers to get ready for the interviews for Victory Circle.
Fans, stick around. We're going to make sure that we're interviewing the top 3 finishers here tonight in Fontana. Once again, congrats to David Washington and his team on such a dominant performance as he takes the victory here at Auto Club Speedway.
Yeah, so I tell you what, Joe, looks like he is definitely getting the finish there. Dave Washington with the donuts here at the start-finish line. Again, Joe, if you've got a minute to go through the top finishers, maybe 1st through 15th, 1st through 20th, we got a lot of names we haven't seen in a while. Like Mike Donahue finished in 14th, but I'll let you get to the top 15 or 20.
Well, it's no surprise David Washington's going to finish first. My pick, Tanner Tallarico, came home second. Gabriel Wood brought it home in third. Fourth was William Roberts. Fifth, William Davis. Sixth, Eric Stanford. 7, Mark Jackson up there tonight. Back in 8th place, David Wright brings it home. Shane Parrish finds himself in 9th. Jack Watson 10th. Andrew Kessler started 21st, found himself in 11th. James Ross finished 12th. Kevin Fetty started from the back. He finished 13th. Mike Donahue up from 30th to 14th. And Jeff T. Martin's going to round out our last spot as 15th tonight here at Auto Club Speedway.
Hey, I appreciate that, Joe. We're going to let you go ahead and interview our 3rd place finisher, Gabriel Wood here. I'm going to bring him in the broadcast booth for the real quick interview. Go ahead there, Joe.
Gabriel, this is Joe up in the booth. You got a copy?
Oh yeah, I got a copy.
10-4. Hey, congrats on the third place victory. I know that's not where you wanted to finish, but you had a good truck all night, very competitive up front. We thought a couple times you were the truck to beat. Tell me, where it went wrong just a little bit and what you saw out there.
Well, the driver behind the wheel had the talent to stick with Dave and Tanner, but he didn't have the talent to pass them. That's what happened. I just could not hold it down to the inside every time I went for the lead. You guys saw that. And so I resigned to the fact that the only way I was going to get around him was pit strategy. So I tried, twice to get around him. It worked the first time, and caution came out. And then the second time, Dave pulled away because he pitted a lap after I did. So it didn't quite work out, but happy with the top three.
Hey, well, Gabriel, we sure do appreciate you coming up here tonight to talk to us. Congrats on your top three. And, if this is any indication of what's to come, then we're really looking forward to watching you because you were up there all night long, man. Again, congrats.
Well, thank you, Joe. Thank you, Robert. Can I throw out some sponsors real quick?
Absolutely. Let's hear it.
All right. It's good to be on this side of it. I want to thank Windview Games for coming on board there. Look them up on the App Store there. Great company. It's a football betting app, sports betting app, if you're into that kind of fantasy football kind of thing. But they came on board with my buddy Corbin. He hooked me up with it. So this is the first time I ever get to mention them on a broadcast. I want to thank them. I want to thank the real life sponsors for the ARCA team, Double H Ranch and Ohio Ag Equipment. I want to thank those guys, and maybe we'll go get them in Pocono here in a few days.
Absolutely. We'll be looking forward out there to see you. I'm sure all your sponsors appreciate the shout out as well. And we appreciate the show you put on tonight.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Gabe. Congratulations, and we'll definitely talk to you soon. Have a great weekend, and you're definitely going to go get them in Pocono.
Thank you, guys.
All right, we're going to bring up for our second place finisher, Tanner Talarico. I'm also going to let you interview him real quick, if you don't mind, Joe.
And Tanner, this is Joe Johnson up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir, I do.
Outstanding. Well, I tell you what, you were my pick tonight to win. I liked what I saw out there. You were competitive. You were up front. It looked like right there at the first part of that run, you were really taking care of your tires. Is that fair to say that's kind of the strategy you were working tonight?
Yeah, for the most part. iRacing just came out with their new build a couple days ago, and they changed the tire fall off on the Cup, the Xfinity car and the truck, and I wasn't really sure how much the tire would fall off, and in the past it's fallen off pretty bad every time it came to Auto Club, so I figured if I saved a little bit, it would be like the only real shot I'd have at David because he was fast all night. There was one spot in the race I could kind of hang with him really late into a run, but he got out there at the end, and he just got out too far, and I couldn't reel him back in.
Well, you did a heck of a job. Nothing to hang your head about tonight here at Auto Club. Is there anybody you want to give a shout-out to, any of your sponsors?
Yeah, I want to give a shout-out to the Drill Spill and Ashton Crowder. He's came on board and partnered up with me for a few races recently, and I just want to say thanks to him. It's been fun as far as we've been. And I want to say thanks to Fox Racing and Fox Shocks. They're a great company. They came on board and helped me out in my real world racing, and they were generous enough to come on and help me in the sim racing world. So shout out to them, and thank you guys for putting all this on.
Hey, man, we sure do appreciate it. You did a great job tonight, and we're looking forward to a lot more great runs as well. Now, you also run in the Cup car as well, correct?
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm sure you'll have plenty of opportunities to keep that thing up front once again. Again, folks, that's Tanner Talarico, your runner-up tonight here at Auto Club.
Yes, sir. I got one or two quick questions, Tanner. We got a couple extra seconds. You mentioned Drill Spill and Ashton Crowder. I understand you actually do paints yourself. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, I do. I actually it's a kind of a new profession I took up a couple months ago, and I had to take a graphic design class in high school for some prerequisite credit, and I kind of just fell in love with it from that day on, and I started painting my own cars and was having a blast doing it. So I just recently opened up my own iRacing skins and paints and designs and everything in between business on trading paints. And anybody interested in any kind of paint for iRacing, go ahead and private message me at any time, and I'll give you a quote and we can work together.
So the easiest way for anybody to contact you for a paint job for iRacing, give us real quick either that website or how to catch you.
For current iRacing members, the easiest way for them to contact me would to be private message me via iRacing private message. Or, on the other hand, I also accept private messages via Trading Paints.
Sounds great, Tanner. I tell you what, I've seen a couple of your paint jobs, and they are incredible. We got a lot of talented drivers in the series. As far as drivers, we also have a lot of talented drivers that are also painters. So congratulations on the second place finish. Thanks for being part of Drill Spill, and hopefully you get a lot of calls for paints in the future. Thanks again tonight.
Yeah, thanks, guys. We'll see you in the Cup Series at Michigan.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Tanner. And now we're going to interview our real quick winner. I've caught up with Dave Washington down here at Victory Circle. Dave, does the taste of champagne ever get old at Victory Circle, Dave?
Hey, I'm kind of liking it in trucks. I can't do anything in the Cup Series this season for some. I don't know what's going on. My head's just not in it, I guess. But the trucks, it seems like it's going pretty good.
Yeah, I tell you what, you are a raw talent. We're definitely thankful for you to be part of what we're doing here. We know we've got at least 6, 8, maybe 12 drivers who you've been generous enough to help out, give them some secrets that you've learned. How many years you been in sim racing?
Ooh, 13, going on 13.
13. So a lot of guys say, how come Dave Washington won so many races? Well, my answer would be he's been doing this 13 years, and he's not only been doing it like I did it, which I suck as a driver, once a week maybe. David, how many hours would you say on average per week you put into practicing on all the different fronts of iRacing?
Probably 18 hours a week, easily.
18 hours a week. When I used to work a part-time job, I used to work 18 hours a week delivering Domino's pizza, and I made tips, and I ate the free bad pizzas, and it was a great time. But I tell you what, somebody who puts in 18 hours a week, as far as a clinic, as far as a school, as far as a schedule, practicing this profession, that's why you're so good. And that's the answer. Everybody's wondering, and there's your answer, fans and drivers. David Washington puts in the time. It's good to see you in Victory Lane here. I tell you what, that Dollar General truck looked good. Were you worried at all there after the last pit stop? It looks like we only had one caution tonight. And how impressed are you in the race tonight at California with the truck drivers with the few cautions we did have?
Oh, I'm very impressed. I'm impressed with Gabriel, Tanner, all the guys that were in the top 10. I mean, the whole field did a great job. Even coming up on some of the slower traffic, they did what they were supposed to do. This series here, I have to say, is by far the best. This is probably the funnest series that's going on right now. These guys know how to get in long green flag runs, get your pit stops done, and let it shake out at the end. And I think I wish I was a little bit less experienced because I'd probably have a lot more fun in this series. But overall, yeah, these guys, they're a great group of guys to race with. I try to, give my tips during practice before the race. And, if they use them, they use them. If not, then they'll learn as the race goes on that, the biggest thing now that I'm learning tonight myself was the tires really didn't matter. I was surprised. I tried to take it easy at the beginning, and the truck really did not change through the whole fuel run. So that's a little bit concerning there. Once the other guys figure out how to get it down for the rest of the season here, I think they'll be fine.
Yeah, we had a lot of drivers that started back in the pack. We had David Wright started 22nd, finished 8th. Mark Jackson started 21st, finished 7th. Eric Stanford started 17th, finished 6th. We also have William Roberts Jr. He's actually won a race. I think he dominated back at Kansas a few weeks ago. Started 14th, finished 4th. And, a lot of the drivers were expecting a big tire fall-off with the update iRacing gave everybody this week. But you're saying you didn't notice it so much.
No, it really – we were down in the 60s, and the thing was still turning like you had new tires on it. It really – you don't even really have to save anymore, unfortunately. I did a little bit on the second run, but that last run, I just let it all hang out.
Yes, sir. Real quick, give us a real quick 15-second summary. How you're involved with All Pro Broadcasting. We are very thankful. Michael D'Amico is part of what we're doing here as far as the camera work. In my opinion, it's the greatest broadcasting group in iRacing. And from what I understand, he's sponsoring your truck. How does that work?
No, he sponsors my Cup car.
Gotcha.
I've known Michael for a long time. 5+ years. back from different leagues and stuff. So yeah, he's been around a long time. Michael's a great guy. I haven't really been able to do much for him this season, unfortunately. I don't know I'm in kind of a slump right now, but we're trying to work that out. But yeah, I mean, racing here with you guys, there is a lot of talent. There's a lot of raw talent, and as I always say, never get too comfortable up front because there's always somebody watching and learning, and their time will come. And when they strike and take off, you're going to be scratching your head.
Hey, Robert, the important question is, did anybody win a free pizza tonight that picked the 98 truck?
That is the important question. And I've not been tarrying on purpose. I've just been trying to get a couple quick questions with Dave Washington. He's one of our great drivers. Joe, thank you so much for reminding me. I went through all the messaging on the chat. I went through all my texts on my phone. And 9 races out of 10 races, we got a free pizza winner. Fans, unfortunately, none of you smart people picked Dave Washington. And that's okay. That saves me and Domino's Pizza a little bit of money this week. So tonight, nobody gets a free pizza. I might go buy one myself because I don't even get a discount when I go to Domino's because I hadn't worked there in 10 years. The co-owner of the league here, Bart Crum, his father is a TYJ for the logo Domino's TYJ Racing. He's in heaven now. He doesn't even give me free pizza. So anyway, long story short, nobody wanted free pizza tonight, but we are very thankful to have Domino's part of what we're doing here. And I tell you what, sometimes somebody wants a free pizza. We can put it on the Facebook, see a picture of the folks. We've done that many, many times. Fans, do not get discouraged. All you got to do is keep trying. Guess what?
Just come back tomorrow night.
There you go. You get another chance tomorrow night, 8:50 p.m. Eastern. If you're not watching All Pro Broadcasting, and I tell you what, fans, if you have not already clicked the subscribe button, and you could be a driver listening to the end of this broadcast right now, and you might not have even clicked subscribe, make sure you click it right now. But if you're a regular fan, you're not racing in our series, and you haven't clicked subscribe, make sure you do it. That way, tomorrow night, Sunday night, in our Dirt Series, Renegade Dirt Series, 8:50 p.m. Eastern, you get the automatic alert on your phone. You don't even have to think about it. It goes beep, and you say, oh, yeah, I get a chance to win a free pizza tonight. I tell you what, we did have a winner last Sunday night, and the gentleman has not called me yet. I'm looking forward to him calling me. If you give me a second, I can tell you exactly his name because I got it here on my phone. I'm just waiting for him to call me. His name is, hold on a second. God, where is it? Give me a second. I can't find it right now. He hadn't called me back. But anyway, he won the free pizza from Sunday night in the Domino's Renegade Dirt Series. And I'm looking forward for him to claiming his pizza, which I'm sure he will.
If you win a free pizza, there is no reason for you not to claim that free pizza. Claim your pizzas, people. Let's get these free pizzas delivered.
Oh,
or carried out.
Yes, sir. I tell you one thing. Every single person who's won one got in contact with me. I told them you won the pizza. They've absolutely claimed it. We've never had anybody not claim it. This guy's probably waiting for Friday night, for his girlfriend. Exactly right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But anyway, we did not have a winner tonight. I have to be honest. Nobody won it. Nobody picked Dave Washington. But you got tomorrow night, 8:50 p.m. Eastern. We have got, what is it, Joe? The Xfinity cars live at Michigan for another 100 laps. And fans, not only can you win a free pizza, it's going to be one of the most exciting races. Unfortunately, Dave Washington won't be here. He'll be helping his favorite teammate try to get the win off. But we're going to have a full field of drivers try to dominate and conquer that race track at Michigan. Any closing thoughts you got there, Joe?
A great race here at Fontana. A lot of talent, a lot of patience exhibited by these truck guys. And fans, tomorrow night again, tune in to Michigan. Make sure you get that pick in for that number 83 car. It's the M&M's IRAPS car driven by yours truly.
Yeah, I tell you what, Joe is not going to be in the booth. It's going to be me and Gabriel Wood, who put on a great show tonight. I'm pretty sure he'll be in the booth tomorrow night. So get your pick in tomorrow night. Again, for Michael D'Amico with All Pro Broadcasting, who gives you these incredible, incredible camera angles. For Joe Johnson coming on board tonight. Thank you so much, Joe. Great voice here. Brand new, but he's learning fast, and he's already got a lot of experience in the booth. My name is Robert McFarland. Make sure you tune in tomorrow night for the Domino's TYJ Racing Premier Xfinity Series live on All Pro Broadcasting. It will be the, what do we call it tonight? It's the same thing. The Servpro 200. My bad. Thank you, fans. We'll see you tomorrow night. Have a good one.
We'll see you.
All that I need is white line.
Motorsports Chevrolet, and you're watching All Pro Broadcasting.